So this right here is the GoPro Hero 9. And to be honest with you, I've had a GoPro ever since they started coming out with them. And there's just always something about the camera that didn't really work out for me. So I ended up using it for a little bit and then just kind of pushing it to the side. So this is not a sponsored video by GoPro, but Polar Pro actually sent me the GoPro along with some Polar Pro filters just to test out to see if I like it and to let you guys know how I feel about them. So this won't be a full-on review. It'll be more of a test to see how well it works with stuff that I would do with my main camera. But just to quickly go over some of the things about the new GoPro 9, image stabilization on this is really amazing. It's probably one of my favorite things about the GoPros. It did struggle a little bit at night in low light, but overall during the day, it works really well. Now you can also film in 5K, 24 frames or 30. The removable lens cover, that's actually a huge thing, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. So one other thing that they changed is the mounting system on the GoPro Hero 9. So instead of putting a case on your GoPro to have the mounting system set up, it's now built in. This front-facing camera is a huge add-on. Now you can see yourself when you're vlogging instead of just guessing to see if you're in frame. So the first thing I want to test out is to see how well this thing does as my main camera filming my talking head, like what I would usually use my main camera for in my tutorials. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to use this GoPro Hero 9 and turn it into a tutorial camera. So after rewatching that, the audio doesn't sound as good as I would like. You'll probably have to invest in their Media Mod add-on, which enhances the mic and gives you a 3.5mm jack so that you can plug in external microphones or lav mics like the one I'm using right now. You just need a lot of lighting when you're shooting indoors so that you don't get a lot of grain. So would I use the GoPro to shoot my tutorial type videos? Probably not. I would like to test out the Media Mod first before I can give you a for sure no. And every now and then I do want to get my Daniel Schiffer on, so I want to create some cool cinematic B-roll stuff in the office. But can this camera handle it? So for shooting cinematic stuff indoors, again, you'll need a lot of light for it to come out decent. You can't get too close with the GoPro as well. The minimum distance range is about 30 centimeters. That's roughly around 12 inches. So whenever I got too close to the object, it lost focus. Overall, it did okay with the quick test, but it may really depend on the type of video that you're shooting inside. For the majority of the stuff that I want to shoot inside the office, I don't think the GoPro will be able to handle it. Polar Pro sent me these filters, which is made for the GoPro, and now you can use these to swap out the original lens cover that's on here. So in order to get the best footage during daylight, you'll want some type of realistic motion blur. And to get that, the settings are pretty simple. So once you have your frame rate picked out, you just need to set your shutter speed to double that, which is called the 180-degree rule. So by doubling it, you will get that motion blur that most movies and cinematic videos would have. So for example, I want to shoot in 24 frames per second. So that means that my shutter would have to be at 1/48. It would usually look overexposed. So this is where ND filters come into play. So the ND filters will let you shoot at those settings. So I just reduced the amount of light that comes into your camera. So I guess you can think of it as like sunglasses for your camera. So now let's see how this one turns out. So it comes with ND8, ND16, and ND32. Different filters for a different type of environment that you're shooting in. So if it was really sunny outside, I'd probably use the ND32. And if it was just during the day, but a bit cloudy and not as much light, I'd probably just throw on the ND8s. So it's really bright outside today, but I'm gonna go with an ND16 to see how well that one does. So here's a shot at 5K, 24 frames per second with no ND filter. Now here it is at 5K, 24 frames per second with the shutter set to 1/48 and the ND filter on. Now vlogging. Vlogging is something I don't do as often, but I want to see if this thing is capable of being a vlogging camera since it has that front-facing camera now. So far the quality looks really good on the camera, but I'm gonna have to load it onto my laptop to see how well it really is. This front-facing camera is a huge add-on. Now you can see yourself when you're vlogging instead of just guessing to see if you're in frame. So this front-facing camera is a huge add-on for GoPro. This is in really low light, like there's no lighting at all. So now we're just testing it out to see how well it does in my studio to see if the quality of the video and audio will do. So the audio seems to be okay when you're really close to the camera. It sounds a little muffled, but it's still usable. Quality is good when you're vlogging outside, but when you're indoors, again, you gotta make sure that you have a lot of lighting. So what I use is as a vlogging camera. Yeah, I think I would, only if it's during the day or somewhere that is well lit. With the addition of the front-facing camera, it makes vlogging a lot easier. So if I were to use the GoPro for something, it'd probably be for vlogging. And how about filming cinematic type videos during the day and night? So a lot of the night shots came out grainy after color correcting and grading it as well. So would I use this to capture cinematic B-roll? Probably not. But it really depends on the type of situation or environment that I'm shooting in. You just really have to be careful with how you use the camera. If you don't use the proper settings or if you don't set it right, then all your footage could come out unusable. But if it's the only camera I have with me, say because I'm traveling, then yeah, I think I can definitely make it work as long as everything is shot outdoors. So overall, the GoPro Hero 9 is not a great camera for indoors or low light situation. You need a lot of light for it to come out pretty decent. So it's definitely made for outdoors where there's a lot of natural lighting. This is usually where the GoPro shines. Action sports, underwater, I feel like those are the type of things that you would use a GoPro for. Not really as an everyday camera like what I was trying to do in this video. So would I recommend this camera to you guys out there? Well, if you're planning to make content like what I do, then probably not. But if you want a small compact camera that you maybe vlog with while you're traveling, then yeah, definitely go for it because the image quality is pretty good, like I said, in bright environments. ND filters definitely help out when you're shooting outside. It helps make your footage look way more cinematic since you're able to add that motion blur by shooting at the settings that is recommended to get that type of look. So GoPro adding the option to remove the lens cover and replace it with an ND filter like the one Polar Pro sent me is definitely a great upgrade by GoPro. Still a little disappointed with the camera. It seems like they just made micro improvements other than the front-facing camera and the replaceable lens cover, but I feel like the next thing that they need to do is increase the sensor size of the camera, which should help with the video quality and better performance in low light. I guess we will just have to wait and see what they come up with in the next version. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button if you want to see more of these type of videos on the channel.
It's my time in my prime. This the prime time. Pretty content. Are you content?